Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. You know, the other night in a live chat, a person asked me about one of the newer guns on the market, the Ruger LCP in .22 long rifle. And they said, what do you think of this gun? Should it even exist? Should they make these small self-defense type guns in .22 long rifle? Because when you chamber these small self-defense type guns in this caliber, it makes people think, hey, this is good for self-defense. And he said, you know, we all know .22 is not optimal for self-defense, so what do I think of this whole thing? And could I make a video telling people why .22 is not acceptable for self-defense? Well, first off, let's talk about the .22 round period. It is not the most powerful round in the world. It is made to hunt like small varmints, squirrels, things like that. It's not meant to take on larger mammals like people. Now, I know a lot of people, when you talk about .22, the first thing they're going to say is, oh, more gang killings, mafia killings, etc. have been done with .22. That means it's very effective. Well, first off, you have to realize there is a huge difference between executing someone gangland style and actually defending yourself with a firearm. Two totally different things. And when you use that whole, well, more people throughout history have been using this round to murder people. If you looked at it that way and just said, well, since it's been commonly used, because it is such a common available round that's been around forever and it's been used so many times, you could say the same thing by saying, pointy sticks have murdered more people than .454 Casull. Because historically, that's true. Same with rocks and clubs. Just because they were more prevalent and been around longer and been used when nothing else would do, doesn't mean they're better. I would still rather have .454 Casull. So that argument doesn't really make a lot of sense. Just because it's been used a lot through history in a certain type of thing means that it's good for self-defense. That does not mean that. Now, I am not someone who's going to tell you never carry .22, especially not if it's .22 Magnum. I mean, it's quite a snappy little round. It's got decent penetration. It's going to leave a tiny little hole, but a hole's a hole, as I often said in my younger days. So I'm not going to say don't carry it. You can carry it, and you can defend your life with it. I've always said, carry what you got sometimes. It still makes you, 99% more prepared than most people, just that you're carrying anything. Even a .22, it's like or even a 9mm. It's like I say with 9mm and .22 both. Someone attacks you, you shoot them at close range a few times with this, especially in the face, they're not going to be attacking you anymore. They're going to probably going off looking for a Band-Aid or trying to get the gunpowder out of their eyes. So, you can use it for self-defense. No one's going to tell you you can't. I'm not going to say you can't use it. I'm going to say you shouldn't because it isn't optimal. It doesn't give enough of a wound cavity. That's one thing. Its penetration isn't super great if there's anything in the way. And that's where the round really starts to fall down, is penetration, especially of hard barriers. It'll just bounce off hard barriers or not even fully penetrate them. Bounce off of car glass. Car doors even won't fully penetrate them sometimes. So just not really a good round for self-defense, because I think when you choose your round for self-defense, you have to think of all the possible ways you might use it. You might be shooting from inside your car, through your window, to someone outside your car who's attacking you. You've been disabled, immobilized. You might be doing that. You might be shooting through the windshield of a car, someone who's trying to run you over. And also another thing, you might be shooting someone who's coming at you with a weapon. And if someone's coming at me with a weapon, I don't want to put tiny little holes in them that they will eventually bleed out from. I want to put big, massive holes in them that might disable muscular systems and, maybe even take out, their neurological systems, if you hit them in the right spot. So I want something that's going to do far more damage and doesn't have to be quite as precise. If someone comes at me, I want a machete, not a scalpel. You know what I mean? And a .22 is a scalpel. want something more powerful. That's where it really falls down. No one's going to tell you that they want to get shot with a 22. Because I know everyone always says that too whenever you say something about any caliber, like 9mm, 22, how, not an effective round. They're like, oh yeah, we'll stand in front of you while I shoot you. And I'm like, okay, well first you stand in front of me while I jam a pointy stick through your rib cage. And then we'll see which one's more effective. But like I said, because no one wants to get shot or stabbed. That's my whole point. Doesn't matter what it's with. Even if someone said, stand in front of my pellet gun, I'm not going to do it. Doesn't mean a pellet gun is effective. So 22 can be used, especially if you are extremely limited in what you either have. At one point in my life, that's all I could afford. I went to buy myself my first pistol. The only one I could find I could afford was a 22 Magnum revolver. And I used it, practiced with it, carried it for self-defense. No problem with that. Use what you got. Use it effectively in the most effective manner you can use it. Train with it. But if you got other choices, go with other things that are better. If you can handle them. If you can't handle them, that's one thing. Of course, here's the thing. If you can't handle anything harder than a 22 as far as recoil goes, I would never recommend a 22 revolver. I definitely have to say semi-automatic, and I don't even like those because here's the thing. 22 rounds are not made for semi-automatics. They're made for revolvers. They're a rimmed cartridge, so when you stack them in guns, you end up with weird grip angles and, lots of potential for faulty operations, fails. So I don't like 22 in semi-automatics, but I wouldn't recommend a 22 in a revolver for anyone that has hand weakness or anything, because since it's rimfire, the spring has to be really heavy on the hammer, which makes it have a shitty trigger. Now, a lot of people now, this is where they're going to chime in and go, oh, I've got a 22 revolver and the trigger is amazing. No, it isn't. Save yourself some embarrassment. Don't actually put that in print, because all that says is you don't know what a good trigger is. You've never experienced a good trigger. So save yourself, like I said, some embarrassment. Don't say that in my video comments. But like I said, don't recommend them in semi-autos because they tend to have jam issues in semi-autos. I'm not real crazy about rimfire, period. And like I said, in a revolver, it's going to have a shitty trigger. So that's another reason why I don't recommend 22s. But the main reason is, like I said, when it comes down to doing a lot of things, it falls short. And that's not a pun, even though it is, 22, you can get 22 short. But it just, like I said, it is better than nothing. But there is far better out there. So if you're going to choose a self-defense round and you have other options, don't choose 22, because even though it is really good at some things, self-defense is not its forte. All right, everybody, one more thing before I go, since we did mention the 9mm and how it's so ineffective. It's one of those weak European beret-wearing, tea-sipping surrender monkey rounds that has been forced upon us by NATO, because NATO doesn't want anybody to be able to hurt anybody else while they're at war. Since that's been forced upon us, and a lot of people accept that, I want to remind everyone that you don't have to accept it. You can join the Save the 40s campaign. All you got to do to join the Save the 40s campaign is go over to my website, TYMPpistolproject.com. There's a link in the upper corner of this video, and buy any Save the 40s merchandise. Anything that says Save the 40s on it, be a t-shirt, a mug, a maganet, a sticker, any of those things. You buy anything and you are automatically a member of the Save the 40s campaign. You'll be on the scroll at the end of my videos. Want to get to where we have enough members to where we can actually demand change in this country, to where the 40 caliber becomes the key round in this country, the primary round. It's a good American round. It's not one of them European rounds. And we need it to be our round. And also with that would come, if you're going to make everything in 40, you might as well make it available in 10 also. And every gun would easily be able to have a conversion barrel to 357 SIG. So we would also bring 10mm and 357 SIG into being our primary calibers by saving the 40 and making it the #1 caliber. See, I've thought this through. So go on over to my website, buy any Save the 40s merchandise, and become a member of the Save the 40s campaign. And while you're over there, buy yourself anything else you want. A Pew and Piglet shirt, an El Kabang shirt, Any design I got over there, if you want it, go ahead and get it. Remember, you get 2 entries into the friend drawing for every t-shirt you buy, 1 entry for every mug. So go on over there, either just buy yourself some products or join the Save the 40s campaign. And with that, I am out of here. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.